Hello, my name is Darla and I am a champion for abused women. I used to think the definition for abuse was receiving a black eye, but that was many years ago. I didn't understand the definition of abuse because I was never told the definition, or the types of abuse, and the signs of abuse, and what can happen when you go down that road of abuse. My unawareness was combined with the brokenness in my childhood and feeling love-starved, and also the manipulation of Bible verses concerning marriage and love. All these work together to make me a prime victim and candidate to be abused. I married at the age of 18 to an abusive man, of course, and he claimed to be a Christian, which I use that term. It's supposed to be Christ-like. That's what the definition of Christian is, so he wasn't. But that was the claim. Again, another deception that I fell to. The National Domestic Violence Statistics state that 30% of women and 15% of men, that's a total of 45% of us have had abuse in our life or that we're currently in abuse in our life. I say this with reservation because I have listened to and I have taught hundreds of women over the last 8 years through Bible study, through workshops, retreats, and in groups over coffee, discussing how many signs are abusive and what they can do about it. They're confused in their hurtful marriages. They don't understand why it's happening, what's wrong with them. And it was the same questions that I struggled with for many, many years. In fact, 10 years of my 13 years of abuse were all about how I could fix myself and what was wrong with me. Because you see, my abuser was always telling me it was my fault, and it was my problem, not his. About 10 years into our marriage, I began to see different people getting divorced and coming out of horrific marriages, even worse than mine. And I struggled with this because I loved Jesus, and he was all I had left. I felt abandoned by my family and by other people and even my church at one point, and so I felt like my relationship with Jesus was all I had. So to go against him was very scary in my mind. But this again was another deception. So I began to seek the truth, and I sought out a pastor who had supported his daughter because she had left her abusive relationship. And he revealed how God's word is so true about love, and his design is nothing that has anything to do with abuse. It is for this reason that I'm coming to you now. You see, God put truth in my path, but he also put a few key people in my life that pointed me to the truth. I'm going to create a series of videos for Facebook and for YouTube, and I'm going to address many questions and issues concerning abuse, the complexities of abuse. It took me 13 years to get out of it, to find my healing path. And I ask that when I post this on Facebook that we are all respectful of one another. We are all at different places in our journeys of healing, and none of us will arrive until we're in heaven. Even now, I live safe, secure, and loved. I'm proof that that can happen because no one would have ever thought that in my life. So I want you to hang on to your hope and be encouraged and inspired by the videos. Share them with your friends to bring the awareness of abuse and to encourage them. Work with me to stand against domestic violence and abuse and to eliminate it in our lives. I ask you to follow me on Facebook, to like me, and to follow my blog and look back to see different aspects of feelings that we deal with and emotions that we deal with, and how to find joy even in the midst of fear and pain. We are entering the holiday season, And this is a very, very explosive time for abusive husbands. But there are ways you can find joy. There are things that you can do to start your healing process. And I would love to be a part of that. I would love to be a resource and an encouragement for you. One of the things that we're going to do is each time that we get together, I am going to ask you if we can talk about a question that you have. So email me a question at darla@godstransforminggrace.com. You can go to my website at godstransforminggrace.com. There are resources on there to define abuse and just how God looks at things. I encourage you to move forward and be brave, because you already are. You're listening to this. You have power to choose every day you do. So don't be deceived anymore. The question that I'm going to pose tonight is, what is your definition of abuse, and when did you come to create that definition? Have you always had it? Has it been recent? Have you never experienced anything? But I would like to know. Let's start a conversation that we can help each other and encourage each other. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will be back with the next video very soon.